Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Let's get after it.
Look at the sun coming through that little spot.
Oh my god, look at these
Look at the
greens.
sun coming through that little spot down there.
Look at these.
Across the field.
I know, but look at these greens.
It's just annihilated. We're not going to be able to play tomorrow.
No. Or the next day.
Holy cripes.
Yeah, he's right. Definitely won't be playing on that golf course for a little while. I swear it seems like the weather's trying to outdo itself every time it acts up here lately. Seems to me like maybe the government should stop messing with all these weather manipulation devices before they accidentally create some kind of a superstorm that wipes everybody out. I know this stuff happens naturally all the time, but it sure looks like these storms are getting worse and happening more often than they used to. It just doesn't seem normal to me.
Do you want to know how to make someone believe that you're in a crisis, but you're actually not? On this side of the picture, you have a map over Sweden, which is actually the summer of long time ago. Here you can see it's all green and it's sun and some clouds and there's some winds there and it looks, you know, this is a summer day. It looks amazing, right? Nothing strange. Here, 2 years ago, the temperature is actually lower than long time ago, but the map has a really strange color. I wonder why the map is all red. And down here it's like really red. 21 degrees Celsius. Wow. I mean, down here it's 26 and it's all green. Looks great. Call me what you think.
I've seen these types of examples before, and they do such a good job of pointing out how the media lies to us and feeds us propaganda. Regardless of what your opinion is on global warming, is it not alarming to you at all that they're so clearly trying to scare everyone into action? And if they're lying to get you to behave a certain way, who's to say they aren't lying about all of it? Why would you choose to believe in half of what someone was telling you if you know for a fact that the other half of what they're saying is all a pack of lies designed to manipulate your behavior? Personally, I choose not to believe any of it. The world may very well be heating up a bit, but I don't buy into their reasonings or their proposed solutions. I don't listen to people who openly lie to me.
So the University of Nebraska took 1/4 pound patty that was headed to McDonald's from a big processing plant and ran some tests on it. They were testing for how many different strains of DNA they could find in that 1/4 pound. Can you guess how many they found? Over 1,300 different strains of DNA were found in that 1/4 pound patty. Now this is very concerning. Over at the shop, we process one animal, take all the whole muscle trim from that one animal, and make our ground beef. So you got over 1,300 different animals in 1/4 pound, or one animal in all those chubs of ground beef that we sell. Something you guys might want to consider next time you guys are buying beef. And remember guys, buy American and buy local.
So over 1,300 strands of DNA in a 1/4 pounder hamburger patty. My immediate thought after finding this out is that we are eating old meat. Just think about how much time it would take to slaughter over 1,300 cows. Your hamburger patty has meat from the first cow and the last cow that was slaughtered in that group. And I looked it up. It can take up to 2 weeks to properly process one cow. So how long was that meat sitting around after being processed so that it could even come into contact with the meat that was pulled off a cow from 1,300 heads later? This just sounds like a recipe for creating a new foodborne illness. That's disgusting.
They're trying to cancel Joe Rogan for what he just said on his podcast. And listen to this clip very carefully because you may not see this anywhere else.
So everybody forever was like, Kamala Harris is the worst vice president. She's the least popular vice president of all time. And then in a moment in time, all of a sudden she's our solution. She's our hero. Everybody's with her. All these social media posts about her. Try Googling a negative story on her. You won't find one.
And he was exactly right. When you search up Kamala Harris, all you see is positive stories. But as soon as you search up Trump, there is nothing but negative stories. Simone Biles appears to knock Trump. Federal investigators suspect that Egypt may have bribed Trump. Kyle Rittenhouse explains he won't vote for Trump. And trust me, there is absolutely nothing about the assassination attempt. Joe Rogan was right about everything he was saying, yet people are still trying to shut him down for telling the truth.
This is not a political clip as far as I'm concerned. Nobody likes Kamala Harris. Nobody. That's been the running joke for at least 3 years. She's been referred to since day one as a word salad speaking, cackling hyena. Even if you had different political beliefs than Grandma did, y'all could still bond over the fact that neither of you like Kamala Harris. Now, all of a sudden, she's being talked about in the media like she's the second coming of Obama or something, the next political savior. I'm sorry if you're a Democrat stuck with this lady as your candidate, someone that didn't even get voted on, but I think we can all agree here that putting the most unpopular politician in history on TV every night and talking about how she's the answer to all of our problems, it's not going to convince anybody of anything except that the media lies and manipulates. And if you can't see the bias on Google when you look at the political candidates, then you may be in a bubble. You may need to broaden your news sources.
The ocean just got weirder and it's making waves in the scientific world. Scientists just recently discovered, kind of on accident, something called dark oxygen. These unassuming rocks produce oxygen without sunlight. It seems almost science fiction, because up until right now, we thought the only oxygen factory here on Earth was photosynthesis via living organisms. The idea that oxygen can come from a non-living mineral in complete darkness is bonkers, and completely turns our current understanding of how oxygen is made on its head. So how the heck are these rocks producing oxygen? They reconstructed the seafloor environment in a lab and then tested the water. And they even took it one step further by poisoning the water with mercury chloride to get rid of any microbes. The oxygen levels still increased. That means that dark oxygen isn't a biological process, it's a geological one, which is beyond not so cool. But that still doesn't answer the question of how this is happening. Well, it looks like the metals in these rocks are acting like natural geobatteries and are potentially splitting seawater into hydrogen and oxygen through a process called seawater electrolysis. Right now, it's not crystal clear why the nodules produce oxygen, but what we do know is that approximately half of the deep sea megafauna cataloged in the CCZ was found only on nodules. Dark oxygen and electric rocks are rewriting textbooks and reminding us for the millionth time there is so much we don't know about our oceans.
It'll be cool to see what they do with this information. Like maybe they could line the inside of a helmet with this stuff and create some sort of an infinite oxygen helmet for deep sea exploration or something. That'd be really cool. I don't know how much oxygen these things actually give off, so that might not even be a realistic expectation of something you could use it for. But this could potentially be used for some pretty cool stuff if it gives off enough oxygen. They could also take those stones down into some of these caves we have that don't have enough oxygen to safely explore them. These are just some things that I'm thinking about possible uses for. Again, these may not even put off enough oxygen to make them usable for anything, but I'm excited to see where this discovery leads. I'm certain someone will find a way to do something cool with it. Hey, if you're enjoying this video and you like this kind of content, I post a new one just like it every day, Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. It'd be awesome if you'd hit that subscribe button and come back tomorrow to join me. Also, don't forget to check out the podcast. Link is in the description. New episode is up today. I could listen to another 45 minutes of that. I think the idea of Stargates is one of the most intriguing conspiracies that exist. There's so much evidence out there and so many stories that propose the idea of the use of Stargates. I thought this particular story was interesting because it has some interesting details that couldn't have been verified until much later after this guy wrote all this down in his diary, like the tunnels under the pyramids. We didn't find out about those until very recently. How would he have known? Or him bringing up the crafts and beings that seemed to be from another planet. The idea of the Anunnaki assisting or being solely responsible for the construction of the pyramids, that wasn't even mainstream knowledge until the past few years. Yet this account of what he supposedly saw lines up directly with what we're taught through the Emerald Tablets. That one is kind of hard to just explain away.
Can someone tell me why I've been having like a draw towards religion, specifically Christianity, when I have no religious background at all? My parents did not raise me and my sister to go to church. They didn't really teach us about religion, so I never had a draw towards it, and none of my friends are really into it, so I haven't had anyone like close to me being like preaching to me and telling me about religion or anything, so I don't really understand it, but I've just been kind of feeling like a pull towards it, if that makes sense. And it's confusing because I don't really understand it, but I'm just like curious, I guess, to learn more. I've never read the Bible, anything like that. I really don't know I've been to church twice in my life, so I really do not know much about anything like to do with it. So if someone wants to give me some tips, some recommendations, that would be super helpful. Should I get a Bible? I don't even know. Like where do I just get it on Amazon or what? Just yeah, any help would be much appreciated.
I think this is an amazing phenomenon, and it's something I have firsthand experience with. I am actually constantly feeling the pull of Christianity myself, and I've got multiple friends who are non-believers who have suddenly and mysteriously found the urge to start reading the Bible. I've given this a lot of thought in regards to what I think may be going on here, and I've come to the conclusion that we're simply experiencing more evil in the world now than we have ever experienced before. With the open attack against Christianity, and that being socially acceptable in the eyes of the media, pure evil is blasted in front of our faces daily, like the garbage they put in front of us during the opening ceremony a week ago. I think that with all the open evil that's taking place, people are feeling the pull to Christianity because they're experiencing a desire to go back to a world with morality and love instead of what they see the world becoming.
I never dreamed that I would have to face the prospect of not living in the United States of America, at least not the one I've known all my life. I've never wished to live anywhere else. This is my home, and I was privileged to be born here. But today I woke up, and as I had my morning coffee, I realized that everything is about to change. No matter how I vote, no matter what, I say something evil has invaded our nation, and our lives are never going to be the same. I've been confused by the hostility of family and friends. I look at people I've known all my life, so hate-filled that they agree with opinions they would never express as their own. I think I may have, entered the twilight zone. We've become a nation that has lost its collective mind. You can't justify this insanity. If a guy pretends to be a woman, you're required to pretend with him. Somehow, it's un-American for the census to count how many Americans are in America. Russians influencing our elections are bad, but illegals voting in our elections are good. It was cool for Joe Biden to blackmail the president of Ukraine, but it's an impeachable offense if Donald Trump inquires about it. 20 is too young to drink a beer, but 18 is old enough to vote. People who have never owned slaves should pay slavery reparations to people who have never been slaves. People who have never been to college should pay the debts of college students who took out huge loans for their degrees. Immigrants with tuberculosis and polio are welcome, but you'd better be able to prove your dog is vaccinated. Irish doctors and German engineers who want to immigrate to the U.S. must go through a rigorous vetting process, but any illiterate gangbangers who jump the southern fence are welcome. $5 billion for border security is too expensive, but $1.5 trillion for free healthcare is not. If you cheat to get into college, you go to prison, but if you cheat to get into the country, you go to college for free. People who say there is no such thing as gender are demanding a female president. We see other countries going socialist and collapsing, but it seems like a great plan to us. Some people are held responsible for things that happened before they were born, and other people are not held responsible for what they're doing right now. Criminals are caught and released to hurt more people, but stopping them is bad because it's a violation of their rights. And pointing out all this hypocrisy somehow makes us racist. Nothing makes sense anymore. No values, no morals, and no civility. People are dying of a Chinese virus, but it's racist to refer to it as Chinese even though it began in China. We're clearly living in an upside-down world where right is wrong and wrong is right, where moral is immoral and immoral is moral, where good is evil and evil is good, where killing murderers is wrong but killing unborn babies is A-okay. Wake up, America. The great unsinkable ship, Titanic America, has hit an iceberg, is taking on water, and is sinking fast. Speak up.
How could anyone listen to all of that and not think that we're living in an upside-down clown world? When you listen to a big list of oddities sounded off like this about all of the things in this world that make no sense, it's easy to think that the world is so far gone that it can never be fixed. The silver lining here, though, and the one thing to keep in mind, is that we're watching the agenda being blasted out on the airwaves every day. That's not reality. Maybe reality is mirroring what we see on the news to a degree, but that's just the odd occurrence that they can use to back up their claims and make you think that the whole world is unraveling. Everything seems to make no sense right now because the people in charge are intentionally trying to bring down the system. But remember, just because you're seeing all this crazy stuff happen on the news, that does not mean that the majority of people are behaving that way.
I believe my brother is a serial killer and will end up killing somebody in the near future if he does not get a mental psychic evaluation as soon as possible. I'm not going through a psychosis. I'm not manic. This is real fucking life, y'all. So throughout the past couple of years, my brother has been showing signs of a psychopath, and over the last couple of months, it has gotten progressively worse. He's been bringing dead animals home, left and right. I'm talking birds, skunks, geese, whole geese, y'all. Like, and this morning, me and my mom go to the garage to get in the car, and it literally reeks of something dead. Like, there's obviously something dead in that garage. And she knows it because she literally pointed it out before I did. And as we're in the car, I told her, I'm literally like, it has to be some kind of way, because he's grown, but it has to be some kind of way that we can check him into somewhere, because that is extremely concerning. Not to mention, this man has literally the worst attitude with everybody around him, and the only time he's laughing is to himself. Literally. It could be dead silent in the room, and he'll literally just be dying laughing at nothing. And that's the only time he shows any happiness. I am genuinely scared for my life. I hate living here. I have nowhere else to go. Like, I don't want to get emotional. My mom literally, like, whenever I try to talk to her about it, she gets super defensive. Like, when I said something to her this morning, she's literally like, oh, how about you do some research on it? What do you mean? Mind you, I am the youngest person in this house. Yeah, I'm the only person who is truly concerned about this. And my mother is just like, how about you do something? How about you do something? Why do I have to do it? Why do I have to be the one? Why is it always on me? That is your son. Like, that is your son. Literally. And I'm really terrified that nobody's going to take it serious until he ends up killing somebody.
What's with all these videos I've been seeing here lately of people claiming that they're related to a serial killer? I've seen about 5 of these videos just since Friday. This one kind of stood out though. This girl seems like she's genuinely concerned, and the behavior that she's explaining that her brother exhibits is at the very least a big pile of red flags. That dude certainly sounds like he needs to be looked into. It wouldn't surprise me at all if we were to see this video pop up again a couple months from now after he's done something and hurt somebody.
I thank God that I've had the opportunity to serve my country under such trying and difficult circumstances. For 372 days, I have been a political prisoner of this administration. Although I have many things to say about my time and treatment inside the Springfield Gulag, that will wait. The first thing I must do is give thanks to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for my deliverance and liberation. To every American that prayed for me or wrote to me, thank you. Your support meant everything, especially in the dark days when they threw me in the hole, especially when they were trying to have me killed. I ask every American to reflect on the fact that just 4 short years ago, we all believed we enjoyed the full protection of the Bill of Rights, the right of free speech, the right to assemble, the right to a speedy trial, and the right to a trial by a jury of our peers. But now, as many in the minority community already knew, those rights just don't exist anymore. Instead, we have FBI censorship and propaganda, warrantless surveillance, and indefinite pretrial and post-conviction detention of American citizens. And worst of all, the fundamental tenet of American jurisprudence, equal justice under law, has been corrupted. And now we have a 2-tiered system of justice, complete with political show trials, ranging from the former president to a common man like me. In the face of this banality of evil, you're right to ask, what can one man or one woman do? Although you must continue to pray. To merely pray while Americans are being shipped to gulags as prisoners of conscience, well, that just mocks God and dishonors the sacrifice of our founding fathers and the shed blood of patriots who enshrined our rights in our sacred Constitution. So I'm asking you today, please, call your congressmen and senators and demand that they live up to the gospel they profess to believe. Demand that they not only proclaim liberty to the captives, but that they use the full power of the legislature, their voice, their vote, and most importantly, the budget, to set at liberty those who are oppressed. And if they will not do this, vote them out, every last one of them. Never again should there be a political prisoner in the United States. And finally, In the words of a truly great man, a man who was also a prisoner of his government. Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, I'm free at last. God bless you, your families, and God bless the United States of America.
372 days as a political prisoner in the United States. A U.S. citizen spent 372 days as a political prisoner in the United States. Something I never thought I would ever hear ever, even if I lived to be 200 years old. I know I try to stay away from politics in these videos, and I'm not going to start changing things up and adding a bunch of political opinions, but I wanted to share this guy's video and spread awareness to the types of people that are locking up on these bogus charges. It's not the people who are burning flags in the streets and looting the stores. It's the patriotic and law-abiding citizens who want to see this country survive. If that's not a huge clue as to what the agenda is, then you may not be paying attention.
What did you say? You said that you were here for me, and what else did you say?
And sometimes you think you're alone, but you're not. You have me, you have God, and you have Jesus, and you have yourself in the heart. And it's okay. We'll get through this together. Okay, Mom? It's okay. You don't even gotta worry and stress about it. Cause you know why? Try to guess.
Because I have you and God.
Exactly. You have me and God. Right by your side. We're sticking on you. We're holding your hand right now. As we're going through these tough trials. So it's okay. You got this, Mom.
Thank you. You're welcome. I appreciate that. You're very sweet. And it does help me to feel at peace knowing that you are here with me and by my side. I appreciate that. Okay?
You're welcome, Mom.
Even though I don't want you carrying my stressors and my worries. That's why I try not to show it too much in front of you, because I don't want you carrying that. I want you to focus on being a kid, playing, having fun, scraping your knees, playing in the dirt, swimming, reading books, thinking about what new toy you want when we go to the store, not worrying about mommy's problems. You understand me?
Yes, Mom.
I'll worry about it. I'm strong enough. I can handle it. Okay?
Okay.
You don't worry about it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I love you.
Okay, I love you too.
Mommy, Papa, Sean.
Mommy, Papa, Sean.
Hug.
Hug.
And there is our uplifting clip of the day. I swear, people are missing out by not talking to kids. My 4-year-old is my favorite person in the house to talk to at the moment because he just says some of the most off-the-wall stuff. And when a kid tells you they love you, they mean it. And when a kid tells you you're ugly, they mean it. They're some of the most honest and blunt people that you could ever talk to, and so you know when they tell you something that's coming from the heart. And it's so refreshing to hear somebody talk that way. I think everyone should have kids. Just look at how much better that lady's life is going to be because she has that little boy to hold her hand throughout it. That's beautiful. That's going to make her life worth living. But guys and gals, I'm going to go ahead and end the video right there. I hope you enjoyed these clips we watched together today. I'll be back tomorrow with another video. I hope you come back to join me. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And don't forget to check out www.barry-stepp.com if you'd like to order yourself a shirt or a hat and help me support the channel. Also, don't forget to post your photos of your merch over in the Discord to get your photo in a video. But with all that out of the way, I hope everyone has a great, safe, fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you all tomorrow.